I wouldn't want my son to play football, but I still watch football. You can have both. I think that in it, and it really has an effect on us viewing. You know, people more upset about what happens with the anthem than guys who are having concussions later in their life, taking their lives, or guys who turn into a vegetable here. People aren't interested in that. They don't care about that. Brett Favre is saying, we should, and he's right. Junior Seau, one of the star defensive players, Hall of Famer, takes his life. He shoots himself in the chest so he can donate his brain. There's far bigger problems with the NFL than just the anthem or Jameis Winston. But these are problems that nobody cares about. They don't want to talk about. And I think what happens is you'll see something as far as the number of players, the quality of player who's playing in the NFL 15 or 20 years down the road. Because this is when parents get involved in this. When mom gets involved in it, then it's serious. Because dad wants son to play. Mom is going to look at this differently. When all of a sudden the Today Show or Oprah or somebody else is talking about it, now mom's interested in this. And then when mom gets interested in it, that's when she lays down the law and says, no, he's not going to play. I would not have tackle football before the age of 12. I would not. I would not have tackle football before you go into high school. I just wouldn't. But I would do it so it's universal and nobody gets an advantage here. And I would have every state do that. But it's not going to happen because high school football in certain states are more important than pro football. Yes, Eden.
And even aside from Junior Seau, the NFL survived Javon Belcher, which was just an unreal story, and he was found to have tons of brain trauma.
Yeah.
That was horrifying what happened.
Dave Duras and Andre Waters. They're guys who played at a high level, played with injuries, and then once they're done, it's like we use you up. Like, okay, you're done. Next guy. Then it'll be the next guy. So Brett Favre, if he's out in front of it and altruistic motives, then great. All for it. And I agree with him. I've seen these kids, and there's always one kid who is able to hit harder or run faster than somebody else, and then you have the other kids, who are vulnerable here. If you want to play, there's ways of playing. You don't have to be, trucking somebody here, laying somebody out. But when dad gets involved in it, and I've seen this, the parents get so overzealous there, we're going to run a pro-style offense here. I want Skippy to, be able to, you got to pound those guys. Go after the star player. Let's be honest. This is what happens here. It doesn't mean football's not a great sport. My dad played, my two older brothers played, and I saw the benefits of it and what it meant to them. But I think you have to be honest with what we have. What's going on right in front of us here. And the NFL does have a bigger problem than the anthem, and that is this. And college football has a big problem as well. College football has a bigger problem, in my opinion, than the NFL because those kids will go untreated. If you don't make the NFL, who's going to follow up with you? No one. Just not going to do it. And I think it goes a little bit more unregulated there. Whereas the NFL, we're watching now. Now you have a concussion protocol. Now you have a tent to go into. Although you still had the embarrassing moment when you had Tom Savage with the Houston game where he's reaching for someone, and that official does not recognize that. It's still one of the most telling pieces of video I've ever seen when it comes to concussions and how you could have just said, I want him out of the game. He does not come back in the game. And you might say, well, he doesn't have the authority to do it. Man, it's a terrible look. Remember the Charger lineman who struggled to get to the sideline, and he went back in the game. I'm going, who the hell is governing this? Who is watching this? Embarrassing. Yeah, for two.
Imagine having a boxing referee that didn't have the authority to stop a fight. You got to wait for one of the managers of the guy getting pummeled to decide to throw in the towel, and God knows what would happen if you let that continue.
And then you don't want to err to the side of, I went too far and he didn't have a concussion. I understand all of this. But, man, something has to pass the eye test. And Tom Savage is in trouble. When you see his hands going up, he's in trouble. But I can't what happens is we base our reaction off of what happens after the hit. He looked okay to me. But that doesn't mean guys hide this. To my dying days, I will believe that Julian Edelman was concussed when he got hit in the Super Bowl by Cam Chancellor. I was amazed that he stayed on his feet, was not going to come out of the game. It's at the end of the Super Bowl. And I heard the hit. I'm on the sidelines. It's a violent sport. We get it. We all understand it. But I think there are certain precautions that we need to take. If you want to ensure what football is going to be for the next 20 years, 30 years, then I think that you have to take some precautionary measures. I don't want to react after the fact and treat concussions because then it's too late. Yeah, Fritzy.
And you said many times, besides pretending that you're okay and you shake it off, they're grabbing other parts of their body, like their knee, to take the attention away from their head, like some other part of their body is keeping them on the ground.
When I asked Hines Ward about that, so the Steelers against the Ravens and he gets hit, Ray Lewis lays him out. And he knows if he goes up to his head that they're going to take him out. So he grabs his ankle. And I said, what did you? He goes, I don't even know why I thought of grabbing my ankle. He got to the sidelines and they realized, no, Hines, you've had a concussion here. And then they hide your helmet from you because you want to go back in. Yeah, Paul.
And look at the difference between the Hines Ward. He knows he's got a ding, but he's got the wherewithal to know how to hide it. And then the severeness of Tom Savage, where he doesn't even have the wherewithal to hide it. He doesn't want to come out of the game. Tom Savage is rarely in games. Yeah. He's fighting for his job every second. A guy like him, but he had no wherewithal to control what was happening to him.
It always takes something tragic, something horrible to change law, rules. Dale Earnhardt Sr. Remember, guys didn't, we don't have to have soft walls or a Hans device. I barely wear a seatbelt here. We lose Dale Sr. Then we have softer walls. Then we have a Hans device. And now when we watch NASCAR, when there's a wreck, you don't go, oh, my God, is he dead? It's just we don't react that way. They're just precautions that have to be made. And I know that there's technology. Scientists are involved in this. I just hope the NFL is open-minded about these people trying to make it safer and better.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.